A girl was swimming towards a group of dolphins in the ocean when a pack of sharks suddenly attacked her. It was a terrifying situation. However, a man on the beach at that time saw what was happening and immediately rushed into the water to help. This is the story of the terrifying shark attack on Sarah Wiley, who was shredded in pieces by a group of bull sharks. In 2006, 21-year-old Sarah Wiley went swimming with her friends at Amity Point Beach. They usually swam in the Rainbow Channel, where they could be alone in the water, but they stayed closer to the shore that day because the sea was rough from recent storms. The water was murky and debris-filled, but the girls weren't scared. They didn't know that there were hungry sharks in that area. The storms had caused more water to flow into the ocean, making the drop-off from the sandbank steeper. This attracted sharks looking for food. Fishermen also threw leftover parts of their catches into the water, which attracted more sharks. Drum lines were placed to lure the sharks away, but sometimes they could still come close because of the bait on the hooks. In the early evening, the group started swimming, hoping to see the beautiful sunset. There weren't many people on the beach, just a few families playing with their children in the sand. At first, they stayed in the shallow water, but later, they decided to go a bit farther. They swam about 15 meters away from the shore with 3 other people. They enjoyed swimming and chatting there, staying above the wavy water. The water was clear, and they could see the fish swimming beneath them, which was amazing. Then, Sarah wanted to go even deeper to get closer to a group of dolphins she spotted in the distance. She swam past the drum lines where bait was used to catch sharks and entered the darker waters of the Rainbow Channel. Sarah was moving away from her friends and planning to continue when something suddenly dragged her underwater. She felt a sharp pain in her leg and realized she couldn't breathe. The intense pain made it impossible for her to think about anything else. She attempted to push away whatever was biting her and causing the pain, but it was too powerful. She tried to hit it in desperation, but that only resulted in even more excruciating pain in her arm. She realized that part of it was missing when she tried to move her arm away from the pain. In a fight for her life, Sarah fought against 2 sharks. One was latched onto her leg while the other viciously tried to tear her apart, limb by limb. She swung her remaining arm, hoping to fight them off, but the pain intensified as the second shark clamped down on it. Suddenly, the shark released her leg, and she managed to reach the water's surface. Her vision was blurred by the surrounding blood, making it hard to see anything else. She was losing consciousness rapidly, but she mustered the strength to cry out one thing that she knew would grab her friends' attention: "Shark!" Initially, her friends thought she was joking, but when they saw the blood pouring from where her arms should have been and witnessed the terror in her eyes, they knew the situation was dire. They realized something terrible had happened. Josiah Topu heard the screams from the beach and immediately sprang into action. He had been enjoying the day with his wife and 5 children by the seaside, but when he heard Sarah's distress, he sensed something was seriously wrong. Without a second thought, Josiah dashed into the waters infested with sharks, swimming as fast as he could towards the young woman. He had never encountered a shark before, but heard that people could fend them off by kicking and punching. That became his plan. He had to reach Sarah before the sharks returned to harm her further. As he got closer to Sarah, the water around them grew redder. She struggled to keep her head above water, and Josiah scanned the area, unable to spot any sharks but noticing the injuries they had inflicted upon poor Sarah. He grabbed her and began swimming back to shore, ensuring her head stayed above water. It was a 15-meter swim back to the shore, with both of them surrounded by Sarah's blood pouring out of her body. After a terrifyingly long swim, they reached the beach, and Josiah pulled Sarah out of the water. Sarah was safe from the sharks, but her injuries still seriously threatened her life. People on the beach quickly wrapped her wounds, trying to stop the bleeding from her arms. The sharks had bitten off her hands and inflicted large, deep wounds on her right thigh and torso. They carried her away on a stretcher, struggling against the loose sand that shifted beneath their feet. Finally, after a 2-kilometer drive, they arrived at the local hospital. When they arrived at the hospital, they didn't have the right equipment to save Sarah's life, so they called for a helicopter to take her to Princess Alexandra Hospital in Brisbane. Even though she reached the hospital an hour after the attack, she had already lost too much blood. It's really sad to say that Sarah passed away at the hospital because of severe blood loss. Josiah received a bravery medal from Queensland Governor Quentin Bryce and still vividly remembers the tragic event. He acknowledged Sarah's courage in fighting against the sharks, which led to her hands severed, and how she desperately tried to survive. So that's it for today. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and click the bell button to get all the latest updates.